Where are we, Jim, on mega cap tech? We did see some insider selling out of Mark Stevens at NVIDIA, board member since '08.
All right. Now, which is funnier? How much he made on the sell,
Yes,
like
yes.
100 million, or how many shares he still got to
Yes.
go? Holy cow. And by the way, there is going to be a legendary sit-down between Zuckerberg and Jensen on the 29th. Now, this is just a meeting of the minds. Remember when these people were like, that was it was I'd say, worlds collided between those two. And now they're going to sit down and talk to each other. It's going to be very exciting. Look, Amazon is the leader. These guys, it's one day, it's tomorrow will be Google, and then there's like a queue. And we got to do Apple by Thursday.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
these analysts just can't stop with the price target bumps of these guys.
Although earnings expectations for AI in general is moderating,
Yes,
you would say.
it is moderating, absolutely. Look, I'm not backing away from NVIDIA. I still think that when you listen to Super Micro, we had them on last night.
Good.
Oh man, they're talking about just gigantic numbers, and they are the partner of NVIDIA, and they certainly, Charles Liang made that very clear last night. That is, by the way, the best performing stock in the S&P.
Yes.
All right, let's give an update on NVIDIA. NVIDIA was respecting this support trend line very nicely on the 4-hour time frame for a number of days, and as you can see, we have broken below that trend line at the time of this recording. We will have to wait and see if it is truly a breakout to the downside or a false breakout. Time will tell. Back around June 20th and 21st, I mentioned I was expecting temporary softening in NVIDIA's price and choppy price action, possibly lasting into mid to late July. My reasoning was simple. We didn't have any scheduled events between the shareholder meeting on June 26th and the next earnings report in August. Additionally, mid to late July would be the point in the cycle in between earnings reports when NVIDIA typically reaches a relative low as market participants temporarily shift their attention away from NVIDIA to focus on the rest of the market. And that is exactly what we've seen recently with the current rotation out of mega cap tech and into small caps. As you can see, the Russell 2000 small cap index has been absolutely running since last Thursday, as much of mega cap tech has seen some choppy or even red price action. As I've said, when the rotation out of mega cap tech happens, NVIDIA is the stock that investors are most likely to trim profits from, given that NVIDIA has had such a massive run-up in comparison to its peers. So that's where we are as of right now. As I've said before, I'm looking for potential pre-anticipatory running in NVIDIA once we enter August, as we get closer to the company's next earnings report in August. That being said, mid to late July is the point in the cycle between earnings when NVIDIA is most likely to reach a relative low. Personally, I would consider adding NVIDIA in the range of $98 to $112 per share, and the closer to 98 the better. Will we get a dip like that? I don't know. We do have a very clear demand zone just under NVIDIA's current price that was established on July 3rd. Supply and demand zones are areas where a supply and demand imbalance has occurred in the past. These zones are areas of interest where reversals are likely to occur, but I do not buy or sell just because price enters these zones. Rather, these zones are merely areas of interest that help us make better informed trading decisions based on how price and volume react to these zones. The current break below the support trend line could be a fake out, or it could be a true break of trend. We don't know yet. If it's a true break of trend, then I would expect NVIDIA to reach the demand zone between $120.42 and $121.73 in the short term. But if this break of trend is a fake out, then that changes things. We'll have to wait and see. I'll be keeping an eye on NVIDIA. Right now, the main event that I'm paying attention to is Taiwan Semiconductor's Q2 earnings report, scheduled to be released before market open this Thursday, July 18th. Remember, NVIDIA designs chips, but they rely on other companies, mainly Taiwan Semiconductor, to actually manufacture those chips. TSMC's earnings will give us a sneak peek as to what to expect for NVIDIA's next earnings report. This is because TSMC reports on a standard calendar year basis, while NVIDIA reports earnings on a fiscal year basis. So TSMC's earnings report on July 18th will give us results for the months of April, May, and June. NVIDIA's next earnings report in August should give us their earnings for the months of May, June, and most of July. So notice that there is some overlap here, and so TSMC's earnings on July 18th should really give us a sneak peek as to what we could expect from NVIDIA and the industry as a whole. What I'm looking forward to the most is TSMC's forward-looking guidance. As I've mentioned before, my main long-term concern with NVIDIA is that we may eventually get a quarter when forward-looking guidance softens. If this were to happen, then market participants would perceive a less aggressive expansion moving forward, and they would apply a much tighter multiple to NVIDIA stock. I'm not saying that NVIDIA is going to drop 90% or that NVIDIA is the next Cisco. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is that it's important to be aware that NVIDIA is now trading at many multiples of future earnings. And if we see forward-looking guidance start to soften, then I would genuinely be concerned about what happens next in the stock. So with all that said, I'm especially interested to see TSMC's forward-looking guidance. I would not be surprised if we have some volatility in NVIDIA stock leading up to TSMC's earnings, and then potentially after the earnings report, depending on what the results are. With that said, I'm curious to know your thoughts on NVIDIA in the comments below. Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.